Hello YouTube and welcome to DayZ. This is going to be a new series I'm going to start on my channel called DayZ Survival Diaries. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is playing DayZ. And just, doing whatever it takes to survive. I'm probably going to end up being a bandit somewhere down the line. And it's probably going to get me killed, so whatever. There are a lot of great YouTubers out there that actually got me started on this game. You guys should really check them out. I'll probably put a list of them in the description below. They include, people like Frankie on PC, Devil Dog Gamer, C Nanish played it a little bit. If you guys don't know who they are, you need to get your heads checked. At least if you don't know who Frankie and C Nanish are, you need to get your head checked. Because really they're two of the biggest names in all of YouTube. If you guys don't know what DayZ is, essentially it is a hyper-realistic zombie survival horror. You're basically thrown onto the map with absolutely nothing. You have, let me see, you have a bandage, a flashlight, some painkillers, and a backpack, and that is it. Beyond that, you're left to your own devices. If you're wondering why there's no zombies in the zombie game, they typically only spawn in, populated areas. As you can see, I have, the little HUD on my left, or on my right. It has an ear, an eyeball, it has a thermometer, a canteen, a droplet, and a fork and knife. That's basically my audio profile, my visual profile, my temperature, my hydration, my blood levels, and my food. I have to keep those monitored, and I have to keep them in check. Otherwise, my character will actually eventually die. And death in this game is permanent. I lose all my gear, I start a new character, and I end up getting spawned somewhere else on the map. There's a lot of PvP elements to this game. Players with better gear, weapons and things, will typically attack other players or use weapons to defend themselves against other players. And in a lot of cases, you'll actually see guys group up together and form small little clans. And in a lot of cases, these clans become very militaristic. They typically have, military weapons, and they will use them on people. If they see you, they will typically, 9 times out of 10, they will kill you. For shits and giggles. I haven't been playing, very long. I think maybe 2 months. I probably logged, about 90 hours playtime in that, span. And just like in real life, as you play this game, you will learn, you will evolve, you'll adapt. You'll develop your own tactics. As you can see, I'm not sticking to the road. I'm kind of taking the long way around to get in the city. That's because that hill right there and the hill in front of me typically have guys wearing ghillie suits, sitting on it with a sniper rifle watching into the city. If I come from this hilltop, I can typically see them before they see me, and it'll give me a heads up to go ahead and avoid this city altogether. This city is called Elektrozavodsk, or Electro, everyone calls it Electro. And as you can see, that building there is where I'm heading to. Snipers typically have a pretty clear shot, so I'm going to try to move in on it without getting myself killed. Another thing to watch out for other players is not just, areas they might be able to take cover, but the way the game's coded, zombies only spawn within 250 meters of a player. Outside of that, you typically want to start watching your back. See if I can get out of here. Okay, so apparently I can't go in through there like I wanted to. There's always more than one way to enter an area like this. So you always want to find the least trafficked area and go through there. You're gonna see that I'll look behind my back a lot. That's because guys will typically stalk you sometimes. Even if you're a fresh spawn like me, you'll typically, see guys stalk you until you get, decent gear. What's that? Hey, friendly. You friendly, bro? I don't have any weapons. You don't have to worry about me killing you. I promise. Alright, I'm friendly. Okay, so essentially, you heard me getting that guy talking. We're friendlies. Basically what he was saying was, I'm not gonna kill you. You don't have to worry about me. 9 times out of 10, people say they're friendly just because they either don't have loot or you don't have loot worth shooting over. Car tire there. Or they want to save their, or they want to save their ammo for, the zombies. And some dick put sandbags in front of this entrance so I can't get to the military gear. Now this city actually has 2 of these stations, 2 of these fire stations. Smokes, those are useful. And now anytime you find things like this, you typically want to try to preserve the ammunition, and that guy's not very good at putting up defensive structures apparently. Things like food and water are rare, so you want to take them too. At least I hardly ever find food and water. I don't know about, other guys, but... So I have a smoke grenade, I have a Coke. And yes, it is a Coke. Okay, so here's a M9. SD weapons are actually pretty good. You want to keep those because when you fire them, they actually don't raise your noise profile like other weapons would. If I were to fire a standard weapon, I'd probably aggro every zombie in the city. But with this, I can typically fire and no one will even know I was there. Hey, Brody. Hey. Yeah, I know. Basically, I needed that guy's shotgun, and he had a better backpack. Yeah, I'm typically a dick, but like I said, people, 9 times out of 10, people will say they're friendly just because they don't have any gear worth shooting over. This guy just was unfortunate enough not to, know better than to trust somebody just because they claim to be friendly. He had a map. He was actually pretty well kitted out, so yeah, I don't even regret, stabbing him in the back like that. But as far as the realism in this game goes, it takes it to a whole new degree. Like, you'll actually see guys, asking who's shooting in such and such town. I don't need these magazines. I don't really want them. I'm just going to leave them on his body. And I'm actually going to take this camping tent. Now, had I shot an actual, loud weapon, I'd be probably, scooting out, trying to get out. Because you have issues like that right there where the guy either fired his weapon or just ran in blindly and attracted the zombie, and then when he dies, the zombie's now in the building with you and you're just fucked. But I got a better backpack off of that, and I got a shotgun, so I'm pretty happy about that kill. Yes, I know what a lot of the comments are going to say. They're probably going to say something along the lines of, you're a dick, or, way to go, Bambi, blah, blah, blah. Really, I don't care. It's supposed to emulate what would happen in a real-life apocalypse. And in real life, if I saw you and you had a fucking shotgun, I'd fucking kill you for it. So, yeah. And... yeah, he was well kitted out, so I kind of do feel sorry for killing the guy. He's probably pissed now, but I'm trying to survive just like he is, And you'll hear about these guys with, like, survival times that are just days on end, and that's because they don't, they don't fuck around. They don't listen to people just because they say they're friendly. They'll shoot you on sight. I got lucky, and that guy just thought I didn't have any equipment worth killing over. But he, unfortunately, was dumb enough to actually carry equipment, around with him. Even though he had a perfectly good camping tent that he can hide the stuff in. And that's, the primary use for camping tents, is to hide your shit. Did I grab his binoculars? Yeah, I grabbed his binoculars. Um, like I said, you know, um, he had gear worth killing over, and I didn't. So that's one of the advantages I had. I had, a handgun, and he had a shotgun. I'm pretty sure I'd rather the shotgun over that, but, uh, the way things are in this game, you can't really trust anybody. So not only did I go ahead and kill him, I killed him for gear, you know. So I have, I'm pretty good to survive. I'm gonna go ahead and finish, scouting out the city. Yeah, that guy was pretty well kitted out. But I'm gonna finish scouting out the city, and then I'm probably gonna move up north. That's typically where you start finding the high-end military gear. That's where you start finding vehicles. Um, and wow, there's a well, of course there's. Never mind. Fresh restart. So you'll see a lot of servers. When you start playing this game, a lot of the servers will actually have preset scheduled restarts. That's because after a while, loot stops spawning. You stop finding gear. You'll notice that all you're really finding are useless things like tin cans. And I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the zombie. And you'll start finding things like just tin cans and things like that you can't really use. The reason for that is because the game, has a percentage of spawn chances. So everything has a preset, ratio of how often it spawns. Once you get past a certain marker, this server has it set to, a 4-hour reset. You'll start noticing that you're not finding the gear that you normally find. You start finding less gear. You're not finding, as much, decent gear. You're finding less ammunition for your weapons. You're starting to find, if I can pick this up, I'm having some desync. It doesn't matter. It'll go to my inventory after a few minutes. And just you'll start noticing that overall you've lost a good bit of equipment. Or not equipment. You'll just start seeing, equipment spawn. So what'll happen is servers will restart so that they can recycle the loot spawns, and guys will basically take advantage of that, and they'll camp cities, and they'll camp cities, and they will basically wait for server restarts to collect gear, and they'll move in and out of the town. I'm not gonna walk across this roof like an idiot. I'm not. Hold on, I hear something. Okay, anyway, one of the issues with one of the risks of me even being in the city in the first place is, like I said, the snipers. Like I said earlier, there's snipers on that hilltop, and they can see this building. They can, they know I'm here. So the best thing to do is to not stand up on rooftops like this. You definitely don't want to do that. That's one of the riskier moves you can make. You typically just want to kind of do things nice and slow. You want to be patient. If you start rushing things, you'll start making slip-ups. You'll start making mistakes, and you'll actually die. Avoid windows too, because this is actually a mod for ARMA 2. And if you haven't heard of ARMA 2, it's basically part of the ARMA series of games, which is more, it's a hyper-realistic military shooter, It's about, sort of like a PC version of Battlefield, a PC-only version of Battlefield. And, but with, like, these battles on these grand, epic scales, not just small cities like you'll see in Call of Duty or Battlefield, but entire countries. You'll fight in entire countries and entire city-states. And the mod basically converts the game into a zombie survival horror. You can either play on your own, or you can play with tons of people. And and there's a double barrel for somebody. Actually, I think I'll take those 2-round slugs. I'm gonna put these 1886 slugs down and pick up these 2 2-round slugs and combine into an 8-round magazine. And that's another thing about this game. Okay, I need 4 2-round slug mags. Okay, so I'll pick up one more and I'll drop it in my back. And the zombie just spawned in front of me, which is gay. Anyway, so another thing about this game is converting ammo. So basically, any weapon that uses a specific caliber, you can fit any caliber magazine into that weapon. So, say I have, I have an M1014 on my back. It's a 12 gauge shotgun. Any weapon that uses a 12 gauge caliber can use those magazines. Sometimes I actually have to convert them, do a little more work, but it can still use it. So for example, if I were to find a double barrel shotgun and I found 2-round slugs, I find 4 2-round slugs, I can shit. I'm about to fuck this guy up. You're friendly? You're friendly. Alright, boy. I'm not gonna shoot. Fuck it, I'm gonna shoot him. Okay, so what you just saw was I basically just changed skins. I'm now a bandit, and everybody knows it. Best way to get away from zombies. Let's go up a ladder. But yeah. So yeah, a lot of you are gonna think I'm a dick, and I'm probably gonna, not gonna get as many subscribers as I normally would. But yeah, I'm now a bandit, and everybody can see it. As you can see, my skin's changed a little bit. Typically it's just a guy. You saw those 2 guys that I've killed were just people in, baseball caps. I now have a wrap around my face because I've killed enough people. I've lost enough of my, base humanity that, I'm now considered a bandit. Now, there is another skin for players who actually work with other people. You can find blood bags and you can heal people. You can find EpiPens and revive knocked out players. You can do things like that. And that will actually earn humanity. And basically, when you earn enough humanity, you will become a hero. So you'll have heroes and bandits actually staging wars against each other. You'll have these, I've actually seen, a one-on-one fight between a bandit and a hero just for the sake that one of them was a bandit and one of them was a hero. But I've also seen, entire clan wars between bandit clans and hero clans. And they were kind of, they weren't grand and epic like you typically see, but there was a fairly big size. I think it was like 5 bandits and like 6 or 7 heroes just having a showdown in the middle of Cherno. That's the biggest I've seen. That's the biggest scale. But you do have these clans of about 30 guys typically running in groups. And so you have to start finding ways to distinguish yourself. So a lot of them will be, you'll actually have guys, finding, skins such as the camo skin or the ghillie skin or, things like that. And in some servers, ooh, this guy had an Alice pack. You'll see actual servers where, there's actually custom gear, these private hives with custom gear. And I'm going to see what he had in it. I'm actually going to move his AKM in here. I'm going to move his 4 magazines. I'm going to drop the 2 blood bags. And I am going to close this bag. Close. Open check pack. Camping tent. My can of beans. And I'm out of here. Okay. So basically, I don't like sticking around dead bodies too long because, that fly noise basically tells everybody, hey, here I am. There's a dead body over here, probably being looted. Come kill me. So I typically get what I need and I get out. That guy had a bigger backpack. You notice that I'm picking up backpacks as I see them. That's because in the game there are different backpack sizes. You start with a patrol pack, and you slowly work your way up to things like coyote. And I'm having desync issues here. Anyway, you slowly work your way up to the biggest being a coyote backpack, So you go from a patrol pack to a coyote backpack, and someone's been here because they put that tent down. So someone is either trying to set up a base here, or they're trying to fucking bait you into checking it to let yourself die. Yeah. So basically, this is a bait tent. Somebody set up this camping tent for players to come in, see it, and try to check it for gear. Now you saw that I checked it, but that's just because I'm secure that there's nobody in here. I checked the room. You know, there's literally, it's a bottleneck in here. Any players that come in, you can see everybody. There's no secrets in this building. Now at night, if you have a ghillie suit, you can typically stand against that back wall there, and no one sees you. But beyond that, there's really no way to hide in there. There's nowhere to go. So if you see someone go in and you don't see them come out, they're either still in there or they've logged out and gone to another server. And another thing about this game is it's a persistent world. So if I log out on this server and I go to another server connected to this particular hive, I'll still have this character. I'll still have my bandit skin and I'll still have my weapons. Now you saw that I have that guy's AK in my backpack. Oh hell yes. That's the advantage of server restarts. You find stuff like that. Anyway, so the purpose is because if I run out of ammo on one weapon, I have another one in my backpack. I can whip it out and I can keep fighting. At least for a little longer. And there's another SD. I'm probably gonna take that mag. Gear. Anyway, and yeah, another thing, like I said, you know, weapons with, you know, that use a certain caliber can use any ammo of that caliber. And any caliber ammo can fit a weapon that fits that particular caliber. For example, you know, if I have an M9 mag, you know, it can fit into it can actually fit into an MP5. I can put that magazine into an MP5 and I can actually fire it with, you know, no problems. The difference is, you know, the weapon itself simply affects the round in different ways. If I fire an M9 mag out of an MP5, you know, an M9 might do so much damage with it, but an MP5 will do the MP5's base damage. And all these weapons, you know, they typically do about the same damage with that particular caliber weapon. But then after that, every, you know, weapon has, you know, its own advantage. An MP5 has a higher rate of fire. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think an MP5 actually carries its damage for over a longer distance without bleeding off than an M9 does. So, you know, as you can see, I have an M9 SD in my mag. You guys saw me pick that up earlier. I can actually take that weapon, I can take the magazines out of it, and I can put it into an MP5 if I pick it up, you know, and fire that perfectly. Now, standard rounds don't actually fit SD weapons from what I've heard. Don't quote me on that. And is that that's a fucking tractor. Hell yes. I'm almost positive that does not spawn naturally there. That has to be a player, you know, a player parked vehicle. So I'm basically going to scout the area, you know, do a quick little look-see-loo, make sure no one's in my line of sight. I'm taking this bitch. Getting tractor. Okay, so you see the whole engine, fuel, and wheel. The engine is actually red. That's because somebody was smart enough to shoot that shit. To make sure someone like me who just rolled up on it and saw it didn't take it. But I now have 2 camping tents. And I have a jerry can. But because the engine's red, I can't drive it, and I don't have any engine parts, so I'm just going to leave it there. And that guy just got grief because I stole his shit. Anyway, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to leave. I am out of here. I'm probably going to go up into the woods and set up a camp, you know. Start putting my gear in there. And I'm starting to have, you know, frame rate issues. So I'm probably going to stop here, guys. I'll see you guys later.